Students rushing to class, locker doors slamming, and school bells ringing. Typical sounds of an American high school. Typical until the shattering sound of gunshots rings out. And another stoic news anchor interrupts our typical American program to report another typical American shooting at another typical American high school in Littleton, Columbine, or Santee. The statistics are alarming. Half of all students report having been pushed, shoved, or slapped by another student. 1/3 report being worried that they will become victims of violence. And reported incidences of bullying have doubled in the last 20 years. What can parents do to prevent their kids from becoming victims or perpetrators of violence? Who is to blame for adolescent violence? While some blame the media, society, or guns, many feel that it is permissive, weak-willed parents who have spared the rod and spoiled an entire generation. And others think that old-world practices of spanking and yelling is at the very root of all violent behavior in children and adults. What is the best way of raising a happy, well-behaved, productive child? We'll shed some light on this matter on the next Cafe California with Cris Franco. Nice day. I think I'll go moderate a talk show. It's a beautiful day in the studio. You're watching Cafe California, and I'm your host, crash test dummy, awesome host, Cris Franco. Y soy muy franco. Today, we'll be taking a look at the awesome task of raising children in a modern world where teachers fret not about who brought gun to class, but who brought guns to class. And to do so, we've assembled this very classy panel. Let's meet them right now. Yasmin Davids Garrido, there, I got it right, is an author and empowerment specialist with a master's in women's studies. She attended Cambridge University, and today she counsels thousands of Latino students from junior high to the university level. She grew up fearing her dad and counsels parents to never spank or hit their child. Welcome, Yasmin Davids Garrido.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. We also have Veronica Vasquez. She is the R&B recording artist who is currently starring as Selena in Selena the Musical. I've seen it. She's terrific. You are. You are. I'm so, she's great. She's going to give us her special insight into her own life as well as her experience of playing Selena, who was raised by a very loving but strict father, Mr. Quintanilla, yes. Right? Who has attended the play regularly, right?
Yes, he has.
And he's quite a man. Please welcome Veronica Vasquez. If people want information on Selena the Musical, what can they do?
They can go to www.nosotros.org.
Judge Peter Espinoza, he is presently with LA County Superior Court. Mr. Espinoza was born in East LA and raised in San Gabriel. He's a father of 4, and he's been on the bench for 11 years, and you've been sitting in that chair for about 20 minutes now, right, Pete? Speaking from experience, Judge Espinoza says that problem children don't always come from problem families, and society can undermine good parenting. Please welcome Judge Peter Espinoza. Thanks for being here, Judge.
Thank you.
We've got Mario Gonzalez. He's an accounting consultant with a wife and a 13-year-old daughter whom he once told, "It is my way or the highway." Okay, Dad is in the house. Mr. Gonzalez says that because his parents spared the rod with his 2 younger siblings, they both fell prey to drugs, dealing, and gangbanging. He has a fascinating story. Welcome, Mario Gonzalez.
Thank you.
Everybody, this is the topic. The statistics are alarming. Violence among teenagers is up a staggering 37%, and gun use and availability to guns is up 50% over the past 10 years. These numbers add up to the fact that today's teenager is almost, get this, 200 times more likely to be involved in a violent encounter with a firearm than his parents were. We're going to talk about how we raise a child in these times where it seems that guns, television, music, and lobbies, everything can draw kids to violence. Let's talk about our own experiences personally about your childhoods. Were any of you ever pinched or hit or...
Pinched.
Pinched, Veronica, pinched.
Hit.
What happened to you, Veronica? You're so lovely.
Oh, thank you.
So that didn't affect your loveliness. Your Veronica-ness is still there.
Thank you so much.
What incidences led for your dad to kind of raise his hand at you?
Oh, goodness. I mean, I wasn't a bad kid. I really wasn't. I guess, you know, I I was a fun kid. My father had a lot of fun with me, and he's a very funny man, and he used to always get a good laugh at my expense all the time. Oh, she it or whatever, and laughing with his friends at me. And I was always the butt of the joke. Yeah. Well, that's what he said. And I said, no, Daddy, that's not true, that's not true. And I was defending myself. I said, he's a liar, he's a liar. And he dropped me off at school, gave me a big kiss, and I guess it kind of festered all day, and he came home from work, and I said, hey, Daddy, and he laid one on me with the correa. And I didn't know what I did. He had just got home. And he said, don't you ever call me a liar.
Never call her dad a liar.
Never call me a liar. And I never did.
Yasmin, what was your experience?
My father was very controlling. He brought us up pretty much military style. He believed that what he said went, and you don't question his authority. So we had to do whatever he said, and if we questioned his authority, we'd get hit. We couldn't question why or what was going on. And when we got old enough where he couldn't control us, he decided to disown us because he couldn't control us anymore. Then we challenged him, took him to court, and that's when he tried to kill us because he couldn't. We were not supposed to challenge him. It was just too much of you know.
He is the almighty dad, and
Absolutely.
you don't go there. Gentlemen, Judge.
I was raised in a household where there was very much a strong male presence, and you didn't question it. But I can remember the one time my dad physically disciplined me. It stands out in my mind. I was in junior high school.
Did you deserve it?
I very much deserved it.
What did he do?
He spanked me with a belt or whatever it was. I think maybe just his hand, but what I did was lie to him about how school was going and that I was doing fine, and in fact, things weren't going well and I wasn't going to school. And it was well-deserved.
He lied.
But his approach was the awesome possibility that he could resort to physical discipline was enough. I mean, to this day, he's 75, I still wouldn't challenge him for that reason.
Mario, you told your daughter, it's my way or the highway. What did your dad tell you?
Well, with me, actually, most of the discipline was done by my mother. And, I mean, sometimes when because I would challenge authority all the time, I just wanted to see how much I can get away with. And my mom seriously put me in my place to let me know that things were done her way or the highway, literally. And not only that, she actually would call up my grandmother so that when we would go visit her, I would get punishment twice. And
Times two.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Is it ever appropriate for a parent to... my mother pinched, is what she did. She did the pinch thing.
Sometimes that's worse than hitting, gosh.
Is it ever appropriate?
No, absolutely not.
I think it is.
I don't think it is at all. I think it doesn't teach anything but violence. I think that you're just hitting a child and you're teaching them that violence is okay to control them. You're controlling their behavior through violence, and I think it's inappropriate.
Mario, you think it's okay?
I think it's okay because I've noticed that, for instance, like in my family, I won't go too far. The first two of us, we were raised where if we did anything wrong, we were spanked, period. And sometimes it was a double whammy where my grandmother would get into it. And my sister and I turned out,
the family that spanks together.
Yeah, and they work together. So my sister and I grew up, I think, pretty decent people. You know, I went to university, I did the military thing. My sister's a domestic housewife. She's nothing wrong in her life. Everything's really great. But my two younger siblings, they were never spanked. Never, never, never.
My sister either. That's so strange.
Yeah,
so you think that's okay then because they were never? Do you think that it's the spanking that made you come out good?
I think so because my mom guided me, and if I didn't follow her rules, I knew I was going to get spanked. And my brothers, no matter what, they knew that it didn't matter. They would just get yelled at maybe at most, and that's it. Well, shoot, then I'm going to do whatever I want. And my brothers, as a result, you know, to this day, they're dealing drugs, gangbangers.
Okay, two examples. We got a lot going on. We'll be back with more Cafe California. We're talking about parenting and spanking. Would you ever, if you had a child, or do you think you're ever going to?
I don't think I would.